Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, going to be talking about some player props I like on Prizepicks for the Week 9 Thursday Night Football game between the Eagles and the Texans. This is not the best Thursday night game. I will be honest. We're probably going to see definitely a lopsided game here. Eagles are massive favorites in this one, 2 touchdown favorites right now. But I still got a couple picks I want to share with you guys that I do like for this Thursday night game. Got 2 picks we're going to give out in this video. Normally for these primetime games, all that I play is usually a 2-pick entry. I know there's people out there that'll bet like 7, 8, 9 different props for one game, but I personally just don't do that. I try and find what I think is the best plays possible. Usually for one game, it's hard to find a ton of props to bet, so I try and find the 2 best picks that I feel the best about. So that's what we're going to talk about, 2 picks for this Thursday night game. Before we do talk through the plays I like for this one, guys, as always, if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, if you have not signed up for Prizepicks, make sure to sign up and use promo code NOAH. When you do sign up with my promo code, Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100. And I do want to recap our plays from Monday Night Football. We did give out 2 picks for the Monday Night Football game between the Bengals and the Browns. Cashed out on both of those 2 picks. We took Amari Cooper's over receiving yards, 54.5. Amari Cooper had a really big game. I think he had over 130 receiving yards. Easily went over his projection. And then we took Hayden Hurst under 7.5 targets. And I think he finished with 4 targets, went well under his projection. So hopefully you guys did tail those 2 picks we gave out for Monday night. Let's try and hit both these picks for this Thursday night game. I will say that for today, for Thursday, for NBA today, I don't know if I'm going to have an NBA video for today just because there's only 2 NBA games today. So this might be all that I play for Thursday is just this Thursday night football entry. But if I do have like any NBA picks I find that I like, I'll probably wind up sharing those over on Patreon. As always, I do give out additional Prizepicks plays over on Patreon if you guys want to check all that out. It's linked down below in the description. But let's talk through this Thursday night game and the 2 picks that I like for this one. So we're going to talk about a fantasy score prop, and then we're going to talk about a receiving yard prop. So we'll start off with fantasy score. Going to go to Miles Sanders. 12 fantasy points for Miles Sanders here. I really like this over. I think this is a really, really good spot for Miles Sanders. So you look at the Texans this season, they have pretty much been the worst team against the run, and it's not really even close. They're giving up the most fantasy points per game to opposing running backs. They're giving up the most rushing yards per game. They're giving up the second most rushing touchdowns. In terms of receiving yards and receptions, they've been better in that category, but this team cannot stop the run. They're giving up a ton of rushing yards and touchdowns, a ton of fantasy points. Obviously, this is a spot that sets up very well for Miles Sanders. For one, the matchup is incredible. Also, the Eagles are very big favorites in this game, so this does set up as kind of a run-heavy game script for the Eagles. I do expect the Eagles to get out to a big lead, and I think they are going to be running the ball a lot, especially in the second half, just trying to kill the clock. And that should set up very well for Miles Sanders. He's not a guy that's going to get a ton of usage in the passing game, but he will probably get 12 to 15 carries here, potentially more. And he's a very, very efficient running back. He's very efficient on the ground. He'll probably have to score. I don't want to say he'll have to score a touchdown, but it would obviously be nice for him to score a touchdown because I think if he does score a touchdown, he's going to easily go over this fantasy score. But he could still get 12 fantasy points without scoring a touchdown. He could have 75 rushing yards and then maybe 3 catches for 30 yards or something like that. Right now, his rushing yard prop is set at 79.5. It's pretty high. And you look at his rushing yards, he's only gone over his rushing yards in 1 out of the last 5 games. Whereas fantasy score, he's actually gone over in 3 out of the last 5 games. So the last 2 games, he didn't have 80 rushing yards, but he still went over fantasy points. Now, he did have a touchdown in both those games. But I think the chances for Miles Sanders to get a touchdown here are pretty high. The Eagles, they should be able to move the ball down the field very efficiently against this Texans defense. They should be in the red zone a lot. They should get in some goal line situations. And I do expect Miles Sanders to be the guy that gets those goal line touches. We will see, sometimes when the Eagles get down to the goal line, they'll let Jalen Hurts run the ball in. They'll do read options with Jalen Hurts. But Miles Sanders should have plenty of opportunity, especially in the red zone near the goal line. He should be very, very efficient on the ground in this matchup. Game script sets up very well here as kind of a run-heavy game script. I wouldn't be surprised if you do see Miles Sanders get 16, 17, 18 carries in this one. He'll probably see a couple targets. He's not going to get a ton of opportunity in the passing game, but he will see at least a couple targets. 12 fantasy points, I think, is a number that he can go over here, especially just because the matchup is so good. Volume should be there as well. I did want to take a look and see what his touchdown odds are for this game, because obviously when you're taking fantasy score, you would love for a guy to get a touchdown, but he does have the second best touchdown odds in this game. Jalen Hurts minus 130 anytime touchdown. Miles Sanders minus 120 anytime touchdown. So that's good to see. He's got the second best odds to score a touchdown out of anyone in this game only behind Jalen Hurts. I'm kind of hoping for like 15 carries, 70 yards, maybe a couple catches for like 20 yards. That might put him over fantasy score, and if it doesn't, hopefully he can find the end zone. If he finds the end zone, I think he's almost certainly going to finish with more than 12 fantasy points here. And I do expect Sanders to be very efficient in this matchup. The spot's just so good. Texans have been getting killed by the run game this season. I don't expect anything to anything to not continue here. The Eagles should just run all over the Texans in this one. So that's going to be our first pick for today, is Miles Sanders to have more than 12 fantasy points. And then the second pick that I like to pair with that, it was definitely tough to find a ton of props to feel confident in on the Texans side. I mean, this is just not a team that I really ever take many props from. They're a really gross offense. They struggle to put up points. But you would think in this type of game where they are 2 touchdown underdogs, you would expect this to be a game where they are gonna have to throw. Obviously, the Eagles should get up easily in this one. They should be able to put up points with ease. And I do expect the Texans to be playing from behind for a large majority of this game. I think late in the game, especially like in the third and fourth quarter, they're going to be throwing the ball a ton, just trying to catch up. So you're going to see some opportunity for some of these pass catchers. Now, who are the Texans going to be trotting out there is a big question, because right now, Nico Collins, one of their top wide receivers, has already been ruled out. Brandon Cooks is questionable. We don't really know if he's going to play or not. He got a DNP in practice because of a personal reason. I saw there was a tweet he put out where he was frustrated with the team. I think he wanted to be traded. He didn't wind up getting traded. So, there's a good chance that Brandon Cooks doesn't even play in this game. Obviously, Brandon Cooks is, their top receiver. He's their top target. So, there's going to be opportunity for a lot of these guys, for, Chris Moore and Brevin Jordan and Jordan Akins. I mean, none of these guys you're ever going to feel good putting into an entry. But somebody's got to catch the football. I mean, the Texans can't run the ball every single play. If they do, they're going to lose by 50 points. So, I think we're going to see some opportunity for some of these pass catchers. The one guy that I do like quite a bit for this one, at least I think this prop is just too low, O.J. Howard, 9.5 receiving yards. I like the over for O.J. Howard here. You look over his last 5 games, he's only gone over this in 2 out of his last 5 games, but he has started to be more involved lately. He actually did play 50% of the snaps last week. The Texans have kind of been running this 3-man committee at tight end. They're going to involve O.J. Howard. They're going to involve Brevin Jordan. They're going to involve Jordan Akins. But again, somebody's got to catch the ball. You look at their wide receivers, they might not have Brandon Cooks for this game. They're already without Nico Collins. Their top 2 wide receivers are probably going to be Chris Moore and Phillip Dorsett. I don't even know who else they have. They probably have, I guess Tyron Johnson could be their 3rd wide receiver. Basically, what I'm saying is I think the Texans are going to run a lot of 2 tight end sets. I think some of these tight ends might have to line up as wide receivers. I don't know if they would do that, but these tight ends are going to have to be on the field because they need someone to catch the football. I mean, they're just kind of running out of bodies at this point, especially if Brandon Cooks doesn't play. And if O.J. Howard is going to play 50-55% of the snaps, if he's going to run 14, 15 routes, he's got a very good chance to at least get 1 or 2 catches. If he can literally get a 10-yard catch and go over this prop on 1 catch. But the fact that he's starting to play more snaps, last 2 games, 45, 50% of the snaps. He's actually played the most snaps out of all their tight ends. I know some of their tight ends have been banged up lately, like Brevin Jordan's been on the injury report lately. He missed a couple of games earlier this season. But I think O.J. Howard has kind of earned himself, or he's earned a spot as one of the top tight ends for the Texans. He's not been super involved. He's not demanding a ton of targets, but if he plays 50-55% of the snaps, I think he sees at least 2 or 3 targets. And again, 9.5 receiving yards. He can literally go over this with 1 catch. So far this season, he's played in 6 games. He's got 2 catches for 38 yards, 1 catch for 7 yards, and then he had a game where he had 1 target, 0 catches, 5 targets, 2 catches for 27 yards, and then 1 target, no catches, 3 targets, 2 catches for 24 yards. Again, in what should be a pass-heavy game script for the Texans, somebody's going to have to catch the football. I think O.J. Howard's going to be out there. I think he's going to be running routes. Just get us 1 catch for 10 yards. That's literally all we need, and I think O.J. Howard can do that here. So 9.5 receiving yards, I definitely think this is a line that O.J. Howard should be able to go over. I think he's going to get some playing time. Even if the Texans do continue to run this 3-man committee at tight end, it's at least going to be possible for O.J. Howard to play enough snaps to where he can catch a 10-yard pass or maybe 2 catches for 5 yards or something like that. These guys are going to have to be on the field. They're going to be playing from behind in this game. Somebody's got to catch the football. So that's what I'm liking for this one, guys. 2-pick entry. Again, it's tough to find a ton to like in this one, especially on the Texans side, man. These Texans props, I don't feel good about many of them. I think the O.J. Howard one is the one I like the most, honestly, just because the number's so low and he could literally hit this with 1 catch, and I think the playing time will be there. But yeah, this is what I'll be running for this Thursday night game between the Eagles and the Texans. I hope you guys, as always, enjoy this video. If you're tailing this entry, I do wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we can hit both these plays, make a little money on this Thursday night game. But as always, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hit that like button if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And also, if you have not checked out Prizepicks yet, make sure to sign up with promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But as always, guys, best of luck on this one. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.